Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2018 Ruff Audio Music Awards and participation trophies. For the first time on video, as you know, last year I debuted this award show on my website. However, the entire thing was readable in text. However, now we're doing it on film. We're doing this live, baby. Well, live for me. You're not watching this live. This is all pre-recorded. But we're doing this in real time. It's like the Grammys, but objectively factual. We have 13 categories this year, starting from the lows and making our way down to the much desired Album of the Year award. So let's get started. Our first category is going to be Best Mix. Now, for the Best Mix award, this is for the producers and audio engineers behind the scenes. These people don't really get recognized that much, so I wanted to create an award category to recognize the people behind the scenes, doing the heavy lifting, behind the screen of the audio engineering booth. And so, this award for Best Mix is going to go to Harmony of Heroes by a bunch of different artists, but directed by the wonderful Darren Kerwin over at Shine Sparkers. This album is phenomenal, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't really have his nostalgic history with the Pokemon franchise, which is what this album is based off of. Pokemon Red and Blue here, more specifically. So yeah, I don't really have much of leaning towards Pokemon, but this album was resonating for me from start to finish, all because of that production. The piano keys are crisp and it's crunchy when it gets to the guitar. It's so perfect with each instrument, and it flows together so naturally as a concept album should. So from the bottom of my heart to Darren and to the rest of the staff and musicians who worked on this album, congratulations, you earned it. Let's move on. Our next category is going to be Best Featured Guest Appearance. It's 2018, man. It's all about the guest appearances. One of the best parts about when an artist releases the track list of their new album is digging through and going, yo, who'd they get, man? Who'd they get on their tracks? And so we got a category, of course, recognizing that. And so the winner for Best Featured Guest Appearance on an album is going to be Beyonce on Walk on Water by Eminem. Now this might come as a surprise to you, but I actually really enjoyed this song. It's a much different song for Eminem, whereas on his usual songs he's going hard. This one is more about him coming out and talking about his insecurities as an artist, about how he doesn't think he can live up to the standard that we've all created for him. We'll get onto that a little bit later down the list. But yeah, and oddly enough, I would have never thought that a Beyonce guest appearance could work on an Eminem album, but for this specific song, it works really well, and the interplay between her vocals on the chorus and him rapping about his insecurities in the verses, it meshes together so well, and it works. And so, Beyonce, you took home the Best Guest Appearance award. Congratulations. Biggest surprise. That is going to be our third category for the day. Biggest surprise. This is about an album that I went in with relatively low or no expectations, and it ended up blowing my mind. It doesn't necessarily mean this is my favorite album of the year, but it definitely has the largest gap of what I expected and what I got at the end. And so, the winner for biggest surprise is going to be Ritual by In This Moment, another female art. Last year, I believe I gave that to Pretty Reckless's new album. So yeah, another female artist taking home the biggest surprise award. In This Moment has a really spotty history for me. Their first two albums I really couldn't get into. Their third and fourth albums I really liked, and then their most recent album before Ritual, I believe that was Black Widow, again started to kind of fall off for me. There were a couple tracks off that I liked, but overall it was a pretty forgettable album for me. Ritual, though, is by far their best album, period, blowing even my previous favorite album, Blood, out of the water. This album takes In This Moment sound and turns it into more of a kind of gothic Rob Zombie industrial metalish vibe, but with a more club somber feeling. Whereas Zombies is more dark but upbeat, this is more downtrodden, but still with those powerful electrical synthesizers combined with their unique metal sound. And it's funny because I usually God, the producer's name is just escaping my mind from me right now. But the producer that does these albums, I usually hate the snare sound that he does for this album, but I think it works so well on this album when combined with all of the synthesizers. And I really love the new direction that this band took. It really worked for me, and I really hope that they continue it throughout. So, In This Moment, congratulations, you're a great surprise this year, and I look forward to your next release. Going off of that, however, we gotta go to biggest disappointment. So whereas biggest surprise goes from my lowest goes to wasn't really looking forward to this, to go, wow, this turned out to be pretty awesome. Biggest disappointment is going to be the other end of the spectrum, where I'm really looking forward to an album, and it just it lowers the bar. No, it's not going to be Steel Panther Lower the Bar. I just realized it just sounded like I was going to segue into that, but no, Lower the Bar did not take home biggest disappointment. That was actually on my top 15. So the biggest disappointment of 2018 is going to go to Hydrograd by Stone Sour, and that hurts saying that. I was really looking forward to this album. I've been a big fan of Stone Sour's work. Especially their House of Golden Bones double album is such a great concept album with a good combination of heavy songs and soft but powerful melodic songs that went together. And then they did a couple of cover EPs. The first one, which I thought was decent, the second one, which I couldn't really get into, but I was so happy that they were finally getting back in the studio to do an original album. And it's water. It's water. That's the term I use for when an album is just a generic radio-friendly album that doesn't bring anything new to the table. It's watered down. Like, you go, you get a nice cold beer or a nice cold Coca-Cola out of the fridge, but you put some ice into it, and then you forget about it, and you go and drink it, and it's like, oh, well, that shit's a bit watered down, and that's Hydrograd. It's the word hydro's even in the title. I should have seen it coming. So yeah, sorry, Stone Sour. It hurts saying, because I love you guys, but man, this album, you watered it down. What can I say? But we're going to get back on track with some happy stuff, because our next award is going to be the biggest comeback. So this goes to an artist where an artist has been out of the game for a long time. Let's say 4 or 5 years at most. And then they come off with a new album that shows that they still got it. Biggest comeback of the award is going to go to Body Count Bloodlust. Bloodlust is a freaking killer album. I love it, and I'm super happy because Body Count got number 6 on my top 15 list this year, and the guys even saw it and gave it a like. So congratulations, guys! You earned a spot on that list, and you absolutely earned biggest comeback of the year. This album, not only is this album thrashy and it hits hard, it has an important message about police brutality, especially in the song Black Hoodie. And that energy is from start to finish on the entire album. Fantastic comeback, guys. Great to have you back in the game, and I'm looking forward to your next work. Our next award for the Ruff Audio Music Awards 2018. It's the most anticipated release of 2018. This category is always difficult because usually an artist doesn't announce their 2018 plans until usually a few months before they release it. Of course, there are a few exceptions, which is why I do have this category, otherwise I'd have nothing to give here. But the winner of most anticipated 2018 release is easily going to go to the upcoming posthumous Jimi Hendrix album, Both Sides of the Sky. I mean, what can I say? It's more Jimi Hendrix. When has a Jimi Hendrix album ever been shitty? That's all I got. We're going on to the next category there. There's absolutely, there was no competition there. More Jimmy. So for our next category, we got Live Artist of the Year. Now, I saw a bunch of artists this year. Metal artists, rap artists, pop artists. So we had a wide variety of stuff to work from. But the winner this year is easily going to go to motherfucking Run the Jewels. Oh my gosh, I saw Run the Jewels this year at Aftershock. They played Saturday on October 21st. Oh my god, they put on a hell of a show. Easily the best show that I've seen all year. They brought all their A game, their energy to the table, and the crowd too. The crowd, they know how to work with the crowd and get the best out of their crowds too. Because you can have a really great artist performance, but man, if the crowd's not into it, it can kill the show. And so you have to have a good relationship with your crowd, and they fucking nailed it. Crowd was on point, band was on. Not band, but the three guys on stage, of course, because you have Killer Mike and LP from Run the Jewels, and then you have DJ Trackstar who tours with them, who does all the DJing and live mixing on stage, and it works so well together. Fucking fantastic show, boys. You are the Live Artist of the Year. Our next category is going to be Composer of the Year, and once again, no competition for this one. This is easily going to go to John Williams for the Star Wars The Last Jedi soundtrack. Now, as you know, I wasn't a really big fan of the film itself, Last Jedi, but we're not here talking about the film, we're just talking about the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. Has brilliant uses of leitmotifs throughout from the score, whether it's from the new trilogy or the original trilogy, and it meshes so well together. Loved it, John. Good to have you back. Now, for our next category, we have a brand new category debuting this year. This was not a part of the 2017 Music Awards. This is something that I created just for this year, and I love it. I'm probably going to keep it for future Music Award years. This is the most dad rock song of 2017. So this one, so a dad rock song. You know, this isn't necessarily a bad song, but I mean, it's a dad rock song. You know, it's this one. There was no competition for this one. This one easily goes to Analog Man by Accept. There is nothing more dad rock than a bunch of 50, 60-something-year-old dudes singing about how confusing modern-day technology is. It just doesn't even come close. And but it's cool because they own up to it. They're self-aware about it, and that's what makes this song work so much. I actually really enjoy the song despite how corny and dad rocky the lyrics are. So it's all in good. So it's all in good heart, guys. And hey, you earned a spot on my top 15 list. So this is not in jest by any means. But you guys are most certainly the dad rockers of the year. Our next category is going to be Best Cover Song. So Best Cover Song, this is one of my favorite categories because I love hearing an artist's interpretation on someone else's work. Because sometimes the song is already good and they want to perform the exact same song in their style, and sometimes artists like to give an entirely new meaning on someone else's work. Taking just the very base, but completely taking it in a new direction. And so this year was actually pretty difficult because we had a lot of good cover songs. There was in this Moment's cover of In the Air. That's not the winner, but that was the runner-up. That was the runner-up for this category. But the winner of Best Cover Song is going to go to Battle of the Heroes by Galactic Empire, and originally composed by John Williams from another Star Wars film, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, so Galactic Empire is a metal band that covers Star Wars songs, and one of the songs they did was Battle of the Heroes from Episode 3. And it kicks ass. It's heavy. It's one of my favorite gym songs to work out to. Maybe that's a future video. Top 10 gym songs. Look for that. I actually like that idea. But anyways, no, Battle of the Heroes. It utilizes both the band's progressive metal style as well as choirs, and the two just go perfect together. So Galactic Empire, you easily won Best Cover of the Year. Congratulations. Best Original Song of the Year. This one was really fucking hard to decide, man. There was so much good songs this year. I was just excuse me. Yeah. I was just talking about how In This Moment just barely missed Best Cover Song with their cover of In the Air Tonight. However, they came out on top for Best Original Song with Roots off of Ritual. My God, this song is so awesome. It's so catchy with this pounding electric synthesizers combined with the actual song, and Maria brings both vocals throughout, which can go from her soft style to her powerful but screechy voice. Throughout, it goes together like peanut butter and chocolate. It resonated with me so hard, and in the end, it just barely nudged it out for my best song of the year. This one was really difficult to decide, but at the end of the day, gotta give it to Roots. That has been my jam since the album dropped in July. Congratulations, you guys. That is your second award. I think that is the first time. I think that is the first time in a Ruff Audio Music Awards that we've had an artist take home 2 awards. So yeah, big congratulations to you guys. Biggest surprise and the best original song of the year. Oh man. Our next category is Worst Album of the Year. Now, we already went through Most Disappointing Album. So Most Disappointing Album was an album that I had high anticipation for, but ultimately it dropped the ball, and there was the biggest difference. The Worst Album of the Year, it's not about what my anticipation was. This is just about straight up black and white what I thought the worst album was, regardless of my anticipation. And oh man, this one really hurts me because at first I was having a tough time deciding what my worst album was. There were a few contenders throughout, and then in the middle of December there was an album that dropped, and when I got finished listening to it, I already knew immediately that this was gonna be my worst album of the year, and man, this one hurts even more than Kicking Stone Sour. I feel like I'm about to kick a small puppy, but the worst album of the year, by far, no competition, is gotta be Revival by Eminem. And again, this one hurts me because you know me, I love Eminem, and I loved Walk on Water. I gave Beyonce the best guest appearance just earlier. But man, this album sucks. It's fucking boring. I made a post on my Facebook after I got finished listening to the album where I basically said, man, Revival is so boring that I actually got a decent amount of sleep last night. Because listening to this album is just a fucking chore. Like, you go through Walk on Water, which is this really different, but it's still this resonating, powerful song. And then throughout, the production just gets sloppy. You have just Eminem's verses just keeps getting weaker and just cringier and cringier, especially when he goes into his political stuff, which I should be into, because politically I'm pretty much in the same realm as Eminem, so I should be on board. and I'm not. That's just pathetic. Like, it's again, it's ironic going back to it's you could say that it's ironic going back to Walk on Water, because Walk on Water, being the song I like, is about Eminem talking about his insecurities, about he doesn't think that he can live up to an artist, and then the rest of the album is him not living up to the standards that we've put onto him as an artist. And like, I feel bad about that, but I gotta be real. This album is shit. It's a terrible album. I'm sorry. I love you, and fuck, I love Marshall Mathers LP too. I thought that was an incredibly underrated album. I really enjoyed it, but man, this album just dropped the ball. So, yeah, I guess as well as In This Moment, you also took home 2 awards this year, but yeah, in a different context, probably not the one that you wanted. Sorry, Em, but gotta keep it real with you. Alright. We've made it to the end. We've made it through 12 categories, but we are at the grand finale. Our next award is the award that all 5 of you who have been watching this have been waiting for. It is time for Album of the Year. Now, as you might know, last year when I debuted the awards, I had an Album of the Year, but it was kind of pointless because if you had read my top 15 list that I read that year, you already knew what my Album of the Year was. It's going to be my number 1 pick for that top 15 list. So I did something a little differently this year. I debuted my top 15 list, however, I omitted my number 1 choice, and I will be debuting it here with the award. So actually, before we go to that, let's actually take a recap through the top 15 list and check out what I put out. So let me pull this up here. So, alright. So recapping the top 15 before we give out our Album of the Year award. For my number 15 pick, I chose Star Wars: The Last Jedi by John Williams, the original motion picture soundtrack. For my number 14 pick, I chose Lower the Bar by Steel Panther. For my number 13 pick, We the People by Adrenaline Mob. Number 12, Apex by Unleash the Archers. Number 11, Never Left by Snoop Dogg. Number 10, The Rise of Chaos by Accept. Number 9, the Blade Runner 2049 soundtrack by Hans Zimmer and Benjamin Wallfish. Number 8, Outlive by Demon Hunter. Number 7, Harmony of a Champion by various artists. Number 6, Bloodlust by Body Count. Number 5, Ritual by In This Moment. Number 4, Nothing is Quick in the Desert by Public Enemy. Number 3, Galactic Empire by Galactic Empire. Number 2, Run the Jewels 3 by Run the Jewels. And the 2018 Ruff Audio Music Awards and Participation Trophies Award for Album of the Year goes to Bringer of Pain by Battle Beast. Boom! That is my Album of the Year. I told you, motherfuckers, this was the year of power metal, and man, this album fucking delivered from start to finish. There is not a single track on this album that I don't like. It is like a perfectionist 5 out of 5 for me. From start to finish, it just keeps going and going and going. One of the songs from this album, Bastard Son of Odin, that was the song that was competing with Roots for my original song of the year. Roots just barely topped it out, but In This Moment, its album could not top Battle Beast for Album of the Year. So, congratulations guys on your award, and everybody, that will do it for the 2018 Ruff Audio Music Awards and participation trophies. I'll see y'all again in the next video, and I'll see y'all again next year for the inevitable 2019 Music Awards. And participation trophies. So yeah, that's it. Let's just ride this one out and call it a day. So until next time. If you enjoyed the music presented in the awards tonight, yes, even Eminem's album, you can go and find purchasing links to all the albums featured in the description below. So go out there and support your artists if you like them. Until next time, see ya guys.